Okay, the Aristo mount used these front 4 holes, and for the Supra you want to use these back 4. Otherwise you won't get enough clearance behind the turbo inlet pipe. It hits the firewall. So using the rear mounts, there's plenty of clearance behind the turbo inlet and the firewall. Otherwise, the motor mount stud was about 2 inches off of where it should be. Alright, so we got the engine in now, got the transmission bolted up, transmission cross member bolted up. Next is going to be the wiring. It looks like we're going to have to extend the harness going into the car. It's probably going to be about 10 or 12 inches too short. Take some more measurements later, get the exact length. I didn't really video any of the harness building just because it was very time consuming and tedious process. So simplified version here. So I got online, looked up the schematics for both options. So the right hand drive Supra non-turbo and also twin turbo Aristo engine wiring. Also got the twin turbo chassis wiring diagrams, so this way I could find each pin where it was in each harness, and then how they needed to be connected together. So basically I took the Aristo engine harness, modified it to fit into the Supra right-hand drive chassis. So these were the 4 plugs that I needed off of the Supra engine harness. The orange and the gray both go inside the passenger floorboard panel area, the 2 body interface plugs, and then the 2 black ones go in the engine bay behind the battery underneath the fuse box. And then so I extended each of the ECU plugs so they'd be long enough to reach through the firewall. At the same time made any splices that I needed to, if wires needed to be connected together. Engine harness extended. This is looking in the passenger floorboard. Haven't tidied it up yet, left everything loose that way in case I needed to test any connections or make any changes to the harness. So it took a couple weeks to get the harness built, and then I was able to test it with the first startup. Alright, for the coolant lines, reused the short hose off the center of the NA motor, reused the 2 lines out of the car, including the hard line, and then got this gate. There's the part number there if it'll focus. (28467). Basically it's just a 90, and it's going to go like that. We'll just cut off the length that we don't need, and the wiring harness is still in test mode. Got everything working except for I haven't been able to test the AC compressor yet. I also need to verify that the alternator's hooked up correct. Alright, for the AC lines, I reused the Supra upper lines going to the compressor. Just had to tweak them a little bit. There's a flexible hose in there also that helps. For the line going from the compressor to the condenser, I've got the Supra line, and then what I had them do was modify this end of it. So we brazed on a flexible line, then we took the end off of the Aristo and brazed it on so we get the proper orientation on the end fitting. Alright, so this is the AC line. The one on the left is from the Aristo. I came on the engine, it was cut. The one on the right is the original Supra line. Okay, so I took these to an AC shop where they make lines, and basically this is what I had them do. And then this is it in the car. I mounted it to the compressor and then installed the line just to make sure I had the links correct. And next was the throttle cable. So the one on the right was the original Supra throttle cable. The one on the left is the longer twin turbo cable. And then here's the part number in case anyone needs it. Alright, so we've got a new battery tray going in from Elmhurst. It's about 115 bucks. Also got new power steering reservoir and power steering hose. Part numbers here if you need them. Reservoir is pretty expensive. It was about 200 bucks with a little hose, but it comes with a cap also. Pretty much everything you need except for the bolts. I've got these finger battery terminals. They're plated, and they also have a little plastic protective cover. Same terminal for positive or negative. And it's got two inputs for wires, various sizes if you take the sleeves out or not. Pretty nice. I'm going to replace the factory nasty terminals. Alright, so that does it for this episode. Check back next episode. We're going to be building the exhaust, installing the radiator, and also installing a Walbro fuel pump. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing, clicking the like button. It helps me with these videos. Thanks for watching.